sensational game of football. That really was a sensational game of football. It had everything. Some would say that it was a delectable medley of footballing splendour. And you know how refreshing it is to be able to say that. It was a game that had everything. You know, with 15 minutes to go, the camera cut to Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola was slumped. He was forlorn. He was finished. It felt like he was broken, despondent. It felt like he knew the game was up. He felt like he knew that it was an insurmountable task to get anywhere near his former protege, Mikel Arteta. That was 15 minutes to go. By the end of the game, at the final whistle, he was celebrating his first ever win at Anfield. He was elated. He was cuddling Bernardo Silva. It was as if you could see the life in Pep Guardiola, the footballing currency in Pep Guardiola had come alive again. It was amazing. And you know, this fixture, I remember years ago when it really mattered. I think it was the fixture where John Stones made that clearance. I remember reading that 800 million people around the world watched that fixture. And I remember thinking, God, I've never really seen a number like 800 million. I remember thinking, that is just beyond anything. And then you see a game like that. You see the quality like that. You see a free kick like Dominic Szoboszlai's like that. And you go, of course, 800 million people are watching a game like that. It was a work of genius. It was probably the best free kick that we've seen since his free kick earlier this season. I mean, the way that he cuts across the ball, the way that he delivers it, the way that he inputs that violence into the ball. It is just a truly, truly beautiful thing to behold. And it was just a joy. That game of football was just a joy. I mean, the dramatic end. Everything that you want from a Premier League game, it had it. Everything that you want. Think about what you want in a Premier League game. You want jeopardy. You want drama. You want a little bit of angst. You want a sending off. It had absolutely everything. The only thing... Oh, God, I don't even know if I need to... Do I need to do this? Do we need to talk about VAR? Do we need to talk about the disgusting intrusion into our beautiful game? Do we want to talk about this desperation from the powers that be to sanitise a game? They are trying to cleanse the game. They are trying to cleanse the spirit and soul of the game. They are trying to use a solvent on it that is just ruining it. Football is imperfect. And it is better for being so. And the way that it has robbed us of that moment. I mean, I can't believe that I'm going to have to do this in a game of that quality, but I'm going to have to now talk about that pillock, Craig Pawson, aren't I? I'm actually going to have to dedicate a segment of my review of one of the best games that I've watched this season to the idiot that is Craig Pawson. How can you do that? Like, you know when you rob us of a moment like that? You know when you ruin a game? Like, football is about moments. Football is about memories. And what we should be discussing here is a Ryan Cherki goal from his own half at Anfield to secure a 3-1 win. That's what we should be talking about. And Ryan Cherki's goal would go down in history. If I ask you goals from the halfway line, you immediately can think of one, can't you? You immediately go David Beckham, Selhurst Park. You immediately go Xavi Alonso, Kenilworth Road. You immediately think of goals from their own half. Naeem from the halfway line in Paris against Arsenal. You immediately. That doesn't exist now. That doesn't exist. So that moment has been ruined. It has taken away, it has stolen a moment from us. And it is so frustrating because when you think about why you're a football fan, the point of being a football fan, the reason why 1 million people up and down the country spend their money and commit their lives to going to football, the reason why 800 million people around the world watch this game, do you know why? I can tell you why. It's because we are all junkies. We're all chasing a buzz. We're all desperately chasing a buzz. The buzz comes from moments like that. And they are just ruining it. They're just taking it away from us. The spontaneity, the beauty, that opportunity, it's robbed us of a class moment and a class goal. And that is what is just so painful about this. It really is an absolute heartbreaker. Like I spoke about it on Twitter. I took to my social media to actually discuss this. And I said that it's time to get rid of it. I said that VAR, when it first came in, I backed it. VAR, when it came in, was a noble and well-intentioned idea. The thought process behind it was something I supported. I wanted it. But it's so clearly not working. And I likened it to when Victor Frankenstein created that monster. It was well-intentioned at the time. He was trying to build something impressive. It was a noble experiment. But it hasn't worked. And now VAR is that monster. VAR is trying to destroy the game. Like, you got to think, that monster tried to kill Victor Frankenstein. VAR is trying to kill football, and it is essential now that we scrap it. I am president and co-founder of the Anti-VAR Society, and if you want to join me, like this video, hype this video. I want to see how many people want to be part of this Anti-VAR Society. I am just sick of it, but you know what? Let's not dwell on it. Instead, I think we need to focus on the joy. I think we need to accentuate the positive. We need to talk about the wonderful qualities in that game. And we need to talk about the impact that it's had on this season. Like, the destination of the Premier League trophy is still in jeopardy. Some would argue, some would say that goal from Erling Haaland could relight a fire in him this season. Some would say that City storming back to seal their first league double over Liverpool since 1937 is going to inspire them. And I'm sure that if you're an Arsenal fan, you watch that and maybe doubts start to creep in. Of course they will. This isn't your first rodeo. I understand why there is an element of anxiety amongst Arsenal fans with regard to going head-to-head with Pep Guardiola for a title. But I think that Arsenal fans are actually approaching this wrong. My message to, and I think it's an important message, to any Arsenal fan that is watching this video is, your attitude should be, who cares? Your attitude should be, who cares? A team who you have a 9-point cushion over won a game of football. So what? What's that got to do with you? You battered Sunderland, and you battered them in the best possible way. You made light work of it. It was professional. It was, and I say this with complimentary tone, it was a forgettable win. You got the job done. Scored a goal just before half-time, settled the nerves, your centre-forward then scores a couple. Job done. Dust it off. Standard procedure. So you did what you needed to do. 24 hours later, one of your rivals, or we say rivals, a team that you're 9 points ahead of, won. I think Arsenal should be going, oh, mate, I didn't watch it. Doesn't matter to you, does it? You need to be worrying about Brentford. You don't need to be worrying about what Liverpool do. You don't need to be worrying about what Man City do. You need to be worrying about Brentford. They need to worry about what you do. You just need to worry about what you do. So I think that there needs to be an element of arrogance from Arsenal fans. I really do. Like, the fact that a team who you had a 9-point cushion over just won a game of football is not really a concern to you, is it? Like, don't let the panic set in, would be my advice. Adopt an element of arrogance. Didn't even watch it. Didn't even know it happened. You know, from a City perspective, they're going to position it differently. From a City perspective, they're going to talk about this being a huge victory. They're going to talk about it being perhaps the sea change of the season. They're going to talk about it being the moment that they came alive. They're going to talk about it being the fight back of all fight backs. They're going to talk about it being the tonic. They're going to talk about it being the invigorator. They're going to talk about that goal that Bernardo Silva scored being the moment that the pendulum swung, being the moment that the tide turned. But I don't think Arsenal fans should think like that at all. And to be totally honest, I don't think it is. I think Arsenal fans are correct to dismiss it. I don't think Arsenal fans should allow it to be a thing. I don't think they should allow the distraction of Bernardo Silva scoring an amazing goal. What a player he is, by the way. Need to talk about how good he is. He was mesmerising today. Couldn't take my eyes off him. He was everywhere. He was the reason that Manchester City got back in the game. You know, Haaland wasn't really involved. He wasn't desperate for the victory. Bernardo Silva's gamble into the box, made the run before Haaland wins a flick on, smashes it into the back of the net. That changes everything. Haaland then obviously gets the winner. And if there is ever something that is going to invigorate Erling Haaland's season, obviously it's going to be a winner at Anfield. You know, scoring the winner at Anfield against the champions is going to potentially ignite his season, reignite his season. But I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. Because beating Liverpool is big. It's big for City. There's a rivalry there. It's big to beat the champions. It's big to win at Anfield regardless. But I think we have to remember that Liverpool aren't the force that they were. You know, from their perspective, it's such a damaging result. Like, Anfield is supposed to be the fortress. Pep Guardiola's first ever win at Anfield with fans in the ground. You know, and one of his weakest sides that have gone there and done it. Like, what does this tell us about Arne Slot? I think there's going to be some serious questions asked about Slot, about his future. In fact, I'm going to do a video on it tomorrow. I've been reading about Slot, and I've seen some worrying stats. Some of his conduct in interviews, it's damaging. The way that he's constantly talking about a low block. That's your job, brother. Your job is to come up with the answer to the low block, not moan about it. It just doesn't feel to me like he is a Liverpool manager. And with Xavi Alonso waiting in the wings, it feels like there is a natural ebb and a flow to this. It feels like it is naturally going to go in a particular way. I can kind of see a managerial merry-go-round. Like, you can see it after the World Cup. Tuchel to Real Madrid. This is what I was thinking even when Alonso was at Real Madrid. Tuchel to Real Madrid. Alonso to Liverpool. Slot. Who knows? But yeah, it's a bad, bad day for Liverpool, this. Really bad. But for Arsenal fans, I think they just need to simply focus on themselves. This doesn't concern you. For Man City, they're going to announce it as the day that the title race came alive. They're going to tell you that Haaland is now firing. They're going to tell you that there is a belief in the camp. They're going to tell you that this is the moment. And look, if there is a moment, this will be it. Like, if you're a Man City fan in that away end going potty, this is the moment that you've been waiting for. Because if not now, never. If you are in the Man City changing room after the game, like you saw Pep Guardiola's reaction. You saw him celebrating with Bernardo Silva. If there is ever a time for them to come alive, it is now. So if you're a Man City fan saying this is it, yeah, you're right. It is it. Because if not now, never. But I really think Arsenal fans should just be going, oh, right, man, I didn't even catch it. Oh, did you play? Sorry, you're 9 points behind us, mate. I was, focusing on what we've got up next. You could certainly position it like that. And I think that arrogance is what Arsenal need. Because the one thing that Arsenal fans, a huge number of them, incredible support. Obviously, they're there every week, unbelievable numbers around the world. But the one thing that they do is put a little bit of pressure. Gets a little bit panicky. So we'll have to see the impact of this. But if Arsenal beat Brentford, normal service is resumed. It's going to be interesting, though, because City play against Fulham 24 hours before Arsenal. So they will potentially cut the gap to 3 points. Maybe, just maybe, we have a title race. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Really interested to hear what you have to say about this. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Please click subscribe. Let me know what you're saying. And if you've really enjoyed it, why not click subscribe? I hope you have a wonderful night. Ta-da.